Hi everyone, today we will be starting our anatomy of upper limb. Our first topic is simply the overview of upper limb. Right, we all know that the upper limb is characterized for its mobility and its ability to like grasp, to hold things, to write down, to do some fine motor skills like writing, drawing, right? So right. And some activities like buttoning the shirt, etc. Right? So we all know that the upper limb is composed of some bones which are scapula, clavicle, and scapula, clavicle, humerus, radius, and ulna, right? And some finger bones, carpals, and metacarpals, right? So we usually divide the upper limb into four main segments, right? The first segment is shoulder. The first segment is shoulder. The second segment is arm. The third segment is forearm. And the fourth and final segment is hand, right? So we will be discussing each segment today. Let's move to the shoulder. Our first region is the shoulder region, right? So in shoulder region, we all know the shoulder region is made up of, first of all, pectoral girdle. Pectoral girdle is made up of two main bones, scapula, and this one is clavicle, right? The scapula is connected with the clavicle, right? Scapula is connected with the clavicle in this manner, and then scapula is also connected with the humerus bone, right? Similarly, clavicle on one side is attached to the scapula, and on the other side, it is attached with the manubrium of the sternum, right? Sternum is not the part of pectoral girdle; it's the part of the exoskeleton, right? So, so now I can revise it like clavicle and the scapula make up the pectoral girdle, right? Our next shoulder is shoulder has four parts. One is the pectoral. We have done pectoral girdle, right? Second is the scapular. Scapular region is actually is at the is at the back of the body, right? And you can see this is the scapula. We will study the scapula in detail in the osteology of scapula, but I can just tell you about this is the medial border of the scapula. This is the inferior angle of the scapula, and this long one is the spine of scapula, right? So our back region has the scapular region. This is the scapular region. It is also the part of shoulder, right? And our third is the deltoid. Deltoid region is our this region, right? Our this region, it's actually named deltoid region because it has a deltoid muscle, right? Deltoid deltoid muscle originates from the clavicle, some part of scapula, and is attached to the humerus, right? The significance of the deltoid region is that the intramuscular injections are being given in the deltoid region, right? Also, in the uh, like we previously studied about the pectoral girdle. There is a region which is also called pectoral region. It is different from the pectoral girdle. Pectoral girdle is actually a system of bones which consists of clavicle and scapula only, right? Whereas the pectoral region is a region of the chest, right? You can see this region, which has at least two major muscles. One is the pectoralis major muscle. You can see pectoralis major muscle arising from the clavicle, some part of sternum, and then inserting on the humerus. And it has another muscle which is called a pectoralis minor muscle, which is arising from some ribs like second, third, fourth, fifth ribs, and then it also inserting on the humerus, right? So it's actually a chest region, right? So we have studied the pectoral girdle, the pectoral region, scapular region, deltoid region, right? And the last one is the lateral cervical region. Before, before going to the lateral cervical region, I want to explain that what's the difference between the medial and lateral. Right? In anatomy, we use two terms, medial and lateral. Medial means that if it is a human body and this is the midline, those structures which are near to the midline, they are called as medial, right? And those structures which are present away from the midline, they are called as lateral. Like I can give you example that the ear is lateral to eye, right? Because eye is near. Similarly, I can say that eye is medial to ear. Like I hope you are understanding. The structure which is more near to the midline, we consider it as medial. The structures which are away from the midline, we consider as lateral. But this is all about the comparison. Like if I am comparing the eyes and ear, I can say that eye is a medial structure and the ear is a lateral, right? Similarly, if we are when we are studying about the cervical region, cervical region is all about the cervical region is actually the our neck, right? You can see here the neck has a cervical vertebra like C1 to C7 cervical vertebra. So this whole neck region is called as cervical region, right? Cervical region is also divided into two parts. This is the medial part. This is the lateral part. So this lateral part is actually the part of upper limb, right? And then this is called as the lateral cervical region, and the major part up to your level till now, we can say that the lateral cervical region has a supraclavicular fossa, right? This is the clavicle bone. Supra means above clavicle, fossa means a depression. So above clavicle, on the lateral side of the neck, there is a depression. It is called as supraclavicular fossa. You can appreciate this here. Supraclavicular fossa, you can see on the lateral side, because this is the lateral side, then this would be the medial side, right? So lateral region, firstly. Secondly, above clavicle, so we call as supraclavicular. Then fossa means it's a kind of depression, right? So I hope you have studied you have understood the lateral cervical region as well, right? So let me summarize it. We have in shoulder region, we have studied the pectoral region, right? Pectoral girdle, scapular region, deltoid region, and lateral cervical region, which has a supraclavicular fossa, right? Next is our arm. In arm, it's simply the arm is this is our arm, right? It has two parts. This is the anterior arm, and below it is the posterior arm, right? And arm is the first segment of the upper limb, and it is the longest segment of the upper limb, right? And it connects the shoulder with the elbow, right? This is elbow and the shoulder is missing, but you can appreciate, but you can understand it, right? The arm connects the shoulder with the upper limb. Mhm. This is the shoulder. So this is the shoulder, this is the elbow, and arm connects it, right? And it has anterior region and the posterior regions, right? Next, move towards the forearm. Similarly, forearm, this is the anterior part of the forearm, and this is the posterior part of the forearm. And we know that forearm connects the elbow with the wrist, right? Then comes our hand. In our hand, this area is the wrist. This is the dorsum of the hand, dorsum. And the underside, this is the palm, right? And these are all the fingers. We will study the osteology of each and every one of the upper limb later. This today's class is basically the overview of the upper limb, right? Now move towards the hand. I have already explained the hand. This is the part, this is the wrist, palm, dorsum, and fingers, right? So our hand And to the fingers in anatomy, we say digits, right? We don't say finger, we say the word digits for finger, right? And and we all know that our finger, when we study further, you will know that our finger has sensory endings that we can feel touch, pain, and temperature through the sensory neurons present in our fingers. Although they are present all over the body, but they are abundantly present at the fingertips, right? Fingertips. So let's revise our whole what we have studied today. First of all, we studied about the pectoral girdle, which is the clavicle, which is the clavicle and scapula. Then we studied about the pectoral region. There was the pectoral region. It had two muscles. One was the pectoralis major muscle, and other was the pectoralis minor muscle. Right. Then we studied about the deltoid region. This is the deltoid region. The significance is we insert the intramuscular injection in the deltoid region. It has the deltoid muscle, right? Then the third, first, second, third, fourth one we studied was the scapular region. I don't think so. It is visible here, but it is present at the back, right? And then we studied about the lateral cervical region. It is also not here, right? Lateral cervical region. And then we studied about the arm. This is our arm. This is our arm. The arm is made up of only one bone, which is humerus, right? Then we studied about the forearm. The forearm is made up of two bones. This bone is the radius, and this one is the ulna, red one, right? Ulna, and this is the radius. Then we studied about the hand. Hand is made up of wrist. This is a set of all bones which we will study later when we come to the anatomy of the wrist. And right, so this is the wrist. Then first comes the metacarpals, then phalanges, three phalanges. Okay. So this was all about the overview of the upper limb. Hope you like my video. Take care. Allah Hafiz.